dangerous situations every day, helping people along roads and highways. And with the first snowfall expected this weekend, that risk they face will increase. Coming up, you'll hear from one tow truck operator and his story.
Ogle has pleaded guilty to possession of child pornography. It is 5:36, and they're the ones who come to the rescue when you're stranded along the road.
Area tow truck drivers are preparing for what could be kind of a busy weekend with our first snowfall possible. WSBT 22's Alex Elich is at the live desk right now. Alex, you spoke with a tow truck driver from our area.
Bob and Leanne, with the first snow expected this weekend, driving conditions are going to get even worse. The tow truck driver I talked to said that when he hears cars on the rumble strips, he knows it's a matter of life or death. Jason Kring is a tow truck driver here in South Bend, and he's the first-hand seeing fellow tow truck drivers in the line of duty. Most of the time, it's from people driving too fast or not moving to the other lane when tow truck operators are on the side of the road. Jason says there's a misconception that tow truck operators are the bad guys who repo cars, but they're also the ones who are the AAA drivers and the ones who change your tire on the side of the road. So paying attention to these tow truck drivers is the matter of life or death for them.
The rumble strips on the side of the highway that most people associate with getting a little too far over to the right and they need to get back in their lane, when I hear those bumps, I see my life pass before my eyes because that's the sound of a car coming straight at me.
There's a wall of the fallen at the International Towing and Recovery Museum of all the tow truck drivers who died on duty. Coming up in the next hour, you'll hear from one local tow truck operator about the dangers in his line of work. At the live desk, Alex Elich, WSBT 22 News.
Question today, do your students feel...
Tow truck operators put their lives in danger every day, and with the first snowfall expected this weekend, their risk when working on the highway will increase. That and more when WSBT 22's First in the Morning continues.
Well, it can be a dangerous job. Tow truck drivers put their lives in danger every day, helping people who are stranded along roads and highways.
And with our first snowfall expected this weekend, it could get a little slick out on the roads. Those drivers and operators face an increased risk. WSBT 22's Alex Elich is joining us live this morning in the studio. And Alex, this is really scary for a lot of these operators.
That's right, Bob and Leanne. Even with the good weather, those pickup trucks that pick up disabled cars or damaged cars on the highway are most likely to get damaged on the side of the road. One driver I talked to said when he hears cars rumble on the strips, he knows it's a matter of life or death.
Just let me be out here loading the car.
They're the unlikely heroes who come to the rescue when you're stuck on the side of the road.
The rumble strips on the side of the highway that most people associate with getting a little too far over to the right and they need to get back in their lane, when I hear those bumps, I see my life pass before my eyes because that's the sound of a car coming straight at me.
Jason Kring has seen firsthand fellow tow truck operators die while working.
Somebody on scene grabbed the radio and called the company and said there was an accident. Me and a fellow operator, Keith, who's also a close friend of mine, were the first ones there. And when we got there, Mark was laying there literally in two pieces and still breathing.
The biggest danger, people driving too fast or not moving to the other lane when tow trucks are on the side of the road.
It brings tears to my eyes, and I've got goosebumps now just thinking about it. You know, that could have easily been me or anybody else. And, you know, people just, they've got to move over and slow down. They have to. Too many of my brothers and sisters are losing their lives on the side of the highway.
Kring says there's a misconception that tow truck operators are the bad guys who repossess cars. But they're also the ones who are the AAA drivers, the ones who change your flat tire. So paying attention to tow trucks will protect both you and the operators.
If the lights are flashing, get over a lane. Slow down. It's not always that we're worried you're going to hit us. You could kick up debris, a chunk of ice, and if you're traveling 50, 60 miles an hour, you kick that up, and it hits me in the head or the body, it can be just as bad as your car hitting me.
Kring also told me that his mom used to say, have fun before work, and now she says, be safe. There's also a wall of the fallen at the International Towing and Recovery Museum of all the tow truck drivers who died on duty. In the studio, Alex Elich, WSBT 22 News.